Good evening, everyone. Late Night Mega here, and tonight we're playing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now, I was originally going to record Mega Man Unlimited, but I was having some recording issues with that game in my recording software. So, I'll record this instead. That seems to be the default response of whenever I'm having issues recording something, I just record Zelda games instead. Uh, But we're going to start a new game. We will name our character Link. However, this is going to be a special run. I'll get into that in a little bit. This is not going to be a normal game where we go around and collect everything. And, well, there's some text for the story. So, a little bit about this game. I mentioned in my previous Zelda run, A Link to the Past, that this was my second favorite Zelda game of all time, uh, and it is my favorite of the 3D Zelda games. And it's just a very enjoyable experience. I always find myself coming back to this game at least once a year or once every other year, and just playing it again and enjoying it. So, yeah, in my book, that makes it a pretty good game. So we've got a little dream sequence here by Link. This sequence is kind of important. I love the look of shock on his face. Now, I am playing this on the GameCube with the Zelda Collector's Edition disc. So if you start seeing some like GameCube things like the YXZ for the 3 items you get to hold, well, that's why that is. But so yeah, I'm playing this instead of Mega Man Unlimited for right now. Although I was going to plan on playing this game anyways after Mega Man Unlimited. It's just I couldn't record that game, so I might as well record this. And so this is Navi, the annoying fairy that we're going to have to deal with. I'm sure if you know anything about this game, you know about this fairy and the annoyances that it causes. Now, I remember the first time I played this game on the Nintendo 64, I actually thought that I was controlling the fairy here, and I had to fly around and find Link's house. I didn't realize that this was just a uh, just a cutscene here. Kind of neat. It was showing off what the N64 could do for a Zelda game. And now Navi's going to come and wake Link up. And as usual, I'm going to try and keep these videos to about the 15 to 20 minute mark since this is kind of a bigger game. I might cut it short a few minutes or go over a few minutes if I think there's a good stopping point. So, yeah, I don't want to overload the videos on the number of minutes, so I still feel that 15 to 20 is a pretty good range to shoot for here. So the Great Deku Tree has summoned us, and we should go check that out. Now, I'm also noticing that the colors that are being recorded versus the colors on the TV that I'm playing this on are somewhat different, especially in Link's room, and especially with the reds. I've mentioned this in my other playthrough that my TV does something really funky with the color red. It looks unnaturally really bright. And, well, I don't care what you have to say, because it's not important. What is important is that we get a sword and a shield. And so there's a couple tricks here. If you jump across these square blocks, you get 5 rupees for doing nothing. Hey, this person wants us to look at us with L targeting, and, well, we're not going to do that. And if we go back here, get another blue rupee worth 5. I thought for sure in the N64 version it was a red rupee worth 20. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I've played this game so many times. I've done runs where I've collected everything. I've done uh, a few different sort of challenge runs. We're going to come through here. And I also remember being kind of stuck here for a while, because we can't actually go see the Great Deku Tree until we get a sword and a shield, and for the life of me I could not find where the sword was. And, well, as you heard up there, Navi's going to tell us, hey, we need to go do something. Yes, I'm aware of that. But first we need to get this. And just so much iconic music in this game. And we got the first sword, which is actually a pretty nice looking sword, if I do say so myself. So we'll go here. And we have to go and equip it. And anytime I go to exit, it's going to ask me to save. So I guess we'll do that. And those big boulders, they will roll around in the manner that they are, the same pattern. They don't switch directions on you. Maybe they do if you get hit by them, I don't know. It's been so long since I've gotten hit by one of those. Now, some other things we can do. We can cut all of these bushes. We do need to get 40 rupees in order to get a shield. And if we check out this sign here, let's see what the sign wants to do. Oh, cut the grass. I don't want to cut the grass. I want to cut the sign. Take that. And this tells us to thrust attack signs like that. And in doing so, we get 5 rupees. Yes, Navi, I know. You'll hear Navi do this all the time. Like you can't get to where you're supposed to be fast enough. You got to get there faster. And there's 5 more, so we'll go in here. And we'll buy the Deku Shield. And it tells us how to equip it. And kind of what it does. Oh, I can just press start and exit there without having to save. Okay. I'm so used to pressing B, though, to get out of the menu. So you might see me accidentally saving a lot. Yes, I have a sword and a shield. This is the guy that blocks our path if we don't have the sword and shield. And then he freaks out when we have those things. And now he's just going to grumble, and then he'll let us through. The reason the game makes you get a sword and a shield is because, well, there's evil plants up here that will attack us. We should do something about that, and we pick up a Deku Stick. It does stuff. More on those later. You can swing them around like a sword, but they'll break very quickly. And now we have another cutscene with the same ominous music that we had before. Listen carefully to what I, the great Deku Tree, am about to tell thee. Thy slumber these past moons must have been restless and full of nightmares. As the servants of evil gain strength, a vile climate pervades the land and causes nightmares to those sensitive to it. Verily, thou hast felt it. Link, the time has come to test thy courage, and since you cannot scroll past my text, because I have been cursed, I need you to break the curse with your wisdom and courage. Yes, I do. If not, he's just going to keep pressuring you until you do. And Navi is going to go with us. Hooray. Alright, so just to show off what Navi wants, we'll flick the C-stick up, and she tells us to go into the Great Deku Tree. That's kind of where I was heading. Only kind of. I would like to collect a few more Deku sticks. We are going to need some within the tree. And there's this thing. I might as well show this off. It goes boing boing and tells us the current time. A weird kind of thing happens with the time in this game. These plants also grow back. Thank you for demonstrating. Is that when you're in a city or a dungeon or some other places in the game, the time will not pass forward. But if you're out in like Hyrule Field, the time will pass forward, and at a rather rapid rate, at least in my opinion. Well, next time we're going to go into this giant tree's mouth because he feels safe putting a small child inside of him to break whatever curse is on him.